What is up? Welcome back to Triple Cross. We're doing a new show today that we are calling Triple Strike. I'm here with the core crew. We're excited. We got me, John. I'm John. We got Matt. Am I pointing the right way? Nope. Matt, we're mirrored. And we got Casey. And we are doing a show that we are tentatively calling Triple Strike. We are using the app Prediction Strike, which is a pretty cool app. It is you can invest in players. So the same way you can invest in stocks, you can invest in players, which is pretty cool. So we're going to do a kind of a weekly competition between us to see which of us can make the most money investing in players. If it's going to be Matt, Mr. Baseball himself, if it's going to be Casey, the fantasy champion, or if it's going to be me. So the way that Prediction Strike values them, it's based on like their performance against fantasy as well as their value in the marketplace and different things like that. But you can see here, we all got our investment value somewhere between $45 and $50. We're just going to see who makes the most money off that $45 to $50 we spent. And yeah, I'll go first. I'll talk about who I invested in first. So the format we'll go through here, I think, is we'll go basketball first, then baseball, then football, and then we'll go through any other miscellaneous people we haven't talked about yet. Before I get into that, I just talked a lot though. Casey, say things.
Hey, John. Before we get into it, definitely none of this is financial advice. I don't know if
we consider this memory.
This is a good memory. Yeah, this is somewhat gambling. Just gamble responsibly and have a good time, but have a good time responsibly.
We don't know the legal things we have to say here, so we're just showing you some stuff we're doing, messing around with Prediction Strike. It is not financial advice. It is not gambling advice. I don't know if we have to say anything about gambling responsibly, but if we do, then definitely do that. There's probably a gambling hotline that I don't know the number of. That
there is a gambling hotline.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Matt solved it multiple times.
If you have a problem, call Matt,
which is not a laughing matter, you guys. I don't know why you thought that was funny.
If you have a problem with it, call Matt and he will give you the number of the gambling hotline.
Or just go to Google and just type in gambling hotline and you'll find it there.
You will find it. Yeah. If you are watching live with us, hit us in the chat. We do want to know if this is a series we should continue to do. Obviously, we would love to collab with Prediction Strike on this. But yeah, just generally want to know if this is fun for you. And if it's fun for us. We're going to find out if it's fun for us, but we won't know if it's fun for you unless you're in the chat. Should be a pretty low-key stream today, though. We're not really like sending it out to the world as much. We're just trying it out, right? Yeah. Just giving a little test. We're just doing just the tip. It's like kind of a just the tip stream,
That's it. That's just if you want the whole thing, you got to tune in later.
You got to really be ready for it.
You got to ask seconds, maybe thirds.
Maybe thirds. All right, cool.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Sorry.
There's a little IP problem there, Casey. This is not our IP.
They don't have they didn't copyright the word truth. It's okay. I already checked it out.
Just that line though. I wonder how much of a movie you can quote on like a different thing.
I think as long as you change one word, you're allowed to just recite the whole movie word for word.
Well, then how could you change? You could recite every word except for one. Yeah. Could you just leave one out?
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, just leave one out. Just leave out the or something.
That's good. That is not
legal. Can't handle truth.
Can't
handle truth.
Like this show is not financial advice. That is not legal advice.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
There are some real lawyers who do this podcast with us sometimes, but they're not here. So
they'll have their opinions.
So don't listen to anything we say.
They'll have their opinions when they see the replay of this.
Yeah. So I'm not fully sure what screen's going to be best to show here, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start with my main kind of basketball investment for the week. Before we get into that, Razzles, Rose B, right? That's Rose B?
That's Rose.
Razzles, Rose B, what's up? If you're here, if you're in the chat, please say hello. But yeah, so I'm gonna show who I invested in for basketball, like my main investment. So my main investment in basketball this week is what I would call a portfolio investment of who I believe the top 3 Bucks players are. So Drew Holiday, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did I say that right? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That was pretty good. It sounded pretty.
Giannis
I can't pronounce it, so
you just kind of trail off. That's how you do
it.
And Chris Middleton. So this is what I would call a day trade, right? So right now the Bucks are down 3-1 to the Heat. The Heat only have to win one more game to pull off an would be an 8-1 upset. So my prediction here is that I think the Bucks won't go down 4-1 to the Heat. I don't think they'll lose to the Heat in 5 games. I think they will win a game. And so if they win a game, I think this trifecta of Chris Middleton, Giannis, Jrue Holiday will somehow increase in value, right? So some of them might go down, some of them might go up, but the trifecta of the 3 of them will increase in value. So I was looking at, it's about 64 total points, 18 total assists, 20 total rebounds. I think that the 3 of them could combine for more than that. So the way that I'm seeing that is like here, if I click into Giannis, can I click into Giannis? No, I'd have to go to a different screen. So if I go here, we're checking out Rob Gronkowski earlier.
I mean, such a man.
You can invest in Gronk if you want.
Yeah, even retired.
John, I have a question. Is Giannis? I thought he had a back injury.
Giannis probably will play. Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he was out for a game, and then he has been playing, and the Heat have still been winning.
Okay.
So yeah, like you can see the way that they get valued. Like, let me look at a longer time period. Giannis's value has dropped off, and basically more than a week ago. So about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, his value dropped off when he got hurt, probably.
Yeah.
And it's kind of stayed down. So that's one thing. If I look at the 3-month trend on him, or even the 1 year trend on him, he's generally been trending down. So why is that happening? So one of the ways, because he's clearly not an MVP candidate.
He's not any good.
One of the ways that Prediction Strike values these players is their play against their fantasy projection. So like he outplayed his fantasy projection just slightly in the last week, but like in the last month, you can see he's underplayed it a couple times. In the last 3 months, you can see he's underplayed it several. So that is how that's one way they value. And one of the other ways they value is just their general like price in this Prediction Strike marketplace. So all that to say, this trifecta, I can see what their like total projection is here. And so I kind of added the 3 of them up: Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Jrue Holiday. And I think they can combine to, like, for one game, outscore their, like, when they're going to be at home, right? So for one game, I think this kind of trifecta right here will increase in value. If they increase, if that portfolio of players increases in value in one game, I'm out. I'm selling. I have to do more than 5% on them. So I want them to hit like maybe 8%, 10%. I'm selling, and I'm getting out. The only one of those 3 that I would hold long-term at this point in time would be Giannis, because I think he is a little underpriced at 1085, and he has dipped over the last year. So if that kind of course corrects, I might hold him long-term. But at this point, I don't really have confidence in them to win the series over the Heat. So if I want to make money in the next couple of weeks, I basically just have to make money if they win a game and then get out of that investment. So that's my main basketball investment for this week.
Very good.
Very nice, John.
Solid.
All right. Who's up next? Who are we doing?
Next up, we'll have Matt go.
All right.
All right, Matt, let's get you.
So before you get into that, this happened last night. Rose, you're talking about Ja Morant. LeBron took 2 charges from Ja Morant last night, doing the same exact thing he did to hurt his hand. Like, just recklessly flying into the lane. Like, what is this? Get a bag, dude. Get a bag. That's why you're about to lose this series to the Lakers. Go ahead, Matt.
All right. My pick is none other than Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors. I think right now they are just starting their hot streak. They've won 2 games in a row. So I think that they're on their way up. So him like going down with that dip, I think that's a great opportunity to buy for sure. The Warriors are underrated overall. And I think he's been kind of hovering last month, huge dip.
Yeah,
underpriced for sure.
Pretty low price on Klay Thompson if you within the course of this season for sure. Yeah.
And I think he's just I just feel like him with the other crew are going to dominate the rest of this series and then roll into the next round.
I'll put it this way: if you think that the Warriors are going to make a deep playoff run, then now is the time to buy them. I mean, the time to really buy them would have been when they were down 2-0 probably, but
I would have allocated more of my dollars towards maybe someone a little bit more valuable, but I spread out to baseball mostly.
Interesting.
What a good leeway.
fascinating take you have there, Matt, because respectfully, I somewhat disagree. Not fully disagree with your take, but disagree who the prime benefactor will be.
Okay.
I have chosen as my basketball stud none other than the man himself, Steph
Warnoff.
Curry. Looking
Yeah,
at
why
a month
not?
here, last 3 months, last year. So kind of in comparison to Clay, you have the same thing. This whole season, they've been generally high. You know, people are excited about the Warriors, especially early on. I think Clay's chart looks similar to this.
Yeah.
Focusing in on stuff, though, I think Steph is even more exaggerated on that trend. You know, you look at 3 months here. I mean, he has an all-time 3-month low, I guess. You can't say all-time low in the last 3 months. That doesn't make any sense. The month here, he's at the lowest point. You know, I didn't really focus too much on the weekly basis, but even on the weekly basis, he is technically at the lowest point he's been. Just like Matt said, that series is turning around. It's 2-2 now. They have swung the series. Sure, they, you know, everybody's good at home, as John likes to say. Everybody tips the series at home, but
especially the Warriors, they're particularly awful on the road.
That's fair.
That's
but
true.
they've had their back against the wall, and I'm going to attribute their success even more to that than just to being at home. I think they're like, hey, we're supposed to be one of the very best teams in the league, and we cannot be losing out, especially in like not winning a game kind of fashion, like they kind of were scary looking like they might do for a second.
And they won the championship last year, so they're like, okay, we're back in it. Like, let's actually show them what we have.
And the reason why I invested in someone like Curry as opposed to a Clay is because I think Curry is actually tied more to the team's success. Like, sure, when Clay goes off, the Warriors are way more likely to win because he's not always going off quite as much. But if Steph doesn't have a good night, it's going to be tough for them to win. So based on that, I think Steph is a pretty safe bet. I had to spend up to get him, but that's my guy. That's where I feel comfortable betting on them. I would feel less confident betting on another guy on the team, but I do believe in the team. Therefore, they make it through this round. I think his value goes up. It's that simple for me.
Yeah, I think it's so like my strategy, my main strategy for basketball was like, how am I going to win the week with basketball? Right? It's like basically pump and dump. Who's gonna perform this week, and then I'm gonna sell them instantly. Where you guys both went with something like, you might win one of the next 2 or 3 weeks with your basketball investments.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
they're probably not gonna pop this week, but yeah.
Sure. Maybe a little bit longer sighted, but I still think there's potential to pop this week.
It would be called a swing trade in the trading game. All right, so I am up with. We going baseball next?
We are going baseball next.
All right,
that'll be the next sport in season.
I bought only one baseball player, and it was this man right here, Mr. Tatis. I'm just gonna pull him up and tell you why I bought him.
Fernando.
Also, we did not. We picked our own players.
We did not collude.
We did not collude. Yes,
we did not.
Collude. Even though it looks like you guys were looking over my shoulder on some picks, that's okay.
Yeah, I was. I mean, in spirit, because we're in physically different locations. So,
yeah.
Should we reveal who bought all of theirs before anyone else bought all of theirs, or should we just?
I don't think it matters.
Or should we just not say that I'm the most awesome person here? Okay, that's cool. So Tatis,
we don't want to lie to our fans, John. Come on.
So Tatis, obviously a beast of a baseball player. Here's essentially what happened to him. Exactly what you would expect to happen. Gets banned and dips, right? And then as he starts to come back this year, sees a little bit of a spike and then just kind of off to a rough start. And so it's like people are just ready to abandon him really quickly, it seems like, with that sharp dip. So to me, I'm buying the dip on Tatis. He's a little rusty, hasn't played in a minute. Maybe he's, adjusting to hitting without steroids, right? Might take a minute. But I still think he can put, wood on the ball, and I think he can still be a really effective player. Overall, I think he's just still good and will increase in value. This is more of a long buy for me, right? And I think we kind of all went this way on our baseball buys because we're like, I mean, how do you make money this week in baseball? That's tough, right? Like, to know how anyone will perform in baseball over the course of a week. I guess maybe with pitchers, that would be really the only way. But like, I think we all did this in baseball where it's like, who do we think is a really good value for this season? So I don't know. I think Tatis, since I bought him earlier today, has already lost me 2 cents. So good job.
I think that's a great buy. I think it is. I think a lot of people didn't even know when he was coming back. Remember, he was still playing. Like, he was just kind of off the radar, and he's with the Padres, who are stacked. So like the team he's on is good. So I think that's a solid buy.
As I look at his projected fantasy stats, I'm like, that's all seems very reasonable for Fernando Tatis Jr. Like, I think he is,
Yeah.
very, very capable of that, even when he's, not juiced up.
Yeah, that was a great pick.
Yeah. All right. Who's
Am
up
I up
next?
next?
I think so.
Okay. You can pick one of my guys for me, please.
Oh yeah, Casey, you got it.
Or Casey. Casey has it.
Casey, you're muted. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not know that. Matt, you pick whoever you want. You drive for
We can
me
go there. We
here.
can go Judge. We can go Judge.
All right, Judge. Do it
Are
is.
we, am I only talking about one player?
Yeah,
Or
is
are
this
we
like your
talk-
major guy? Was this your
Yeah,
biggest
who's-
guy?
okay. Let me see.
who's your
my
main
other guys that I
your
picked.
main buy
Yeah.
for baseball?
Um,
Or if you want to if you wanted to group,
I'm
if
going
it's
to
like
go
a grouping.
Otani. We got to go
Okay.
Otani.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
I did
mean,
kind of a
okay.
portfolio one on basketball, so if you wanted to do that, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I did. A
Ohtani might
portfolio
be
on
it, though.
baseball. But
Yeah.
Otani, I mean, like, you. Let me see the graph, if Casey, if you don't mind.
Which
on
one?
Ohtani.
Month,
Well, let's
year,
go 1
and-
month, and then I just want to zoom out. Yeah, I mean, like, let's go one more. Yeah, so he's right now. I mean, he's at an all-time high. But if we go back to the 3 month, he's at the low point on the 3 month. He's past that peak. I think maybe, I don't know, because he's.
This might be the
cooled off a
best price
little
you can
bit.
get him at.
But like, I mean, hands down, he is an MVP candidate like every year, probably for the next 15 years, as long as he
Right.
plays on both ends of the field. So I'm like, you can't go wrong. And this is probably a great price to get him in at. Yeah, I mean, he's just
you
a
might
stud.
never be able to get him at as good a price. It's a mega long buy, honestly. Like
Right.
maybe you'll never win a week with Otani, but you might make money on Otani over the next 5 years. By
Yeah.
This is like buying. I would say this is equivalent to like buying an Apple stock.
right.
Like it's just like it's just going to be a home run.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
like every season, just count year in, year out, and like you just can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Angels are not great contenders as a team. That's the only downside to getting an Ohtani, because you don't know how the rest of the team is going to shake out.
Mhm.
But on an individual basis, like he's just a lock. So
Cool.
yeah.
Love it. Way to go.
Quick comment break before you go, Casey. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get a little temperature from the few. We didn't really even push this. We didn't text our list or anything like that. Got a few of our main diehards in here who I love. Asked if y'all would be interested in getting in on some competition with us. Obviously, we need to know the legalities. Right now, it's just us messing around. I don't know. Maybe Adam. Maybe you know the legalities more than us. Though these aren't animals, so I don't know. It's not animal law. But yeah, Mike, you're in. Andrew sounds interesting. Adam, late to the party. That's okay. Later, Adam said no clue what we're talking about because he was late, but probably
Everybody's
in.
down.
And then Rose, I think Rose said she was in. There she is. Yeah. Rose, sure.
Sure.
So yeah, definitely some of our core crew interested in maybe getting in on the weekly competition. We were thinking about doing like a prize, like every 12 weeks, we do like a big cash prize to whoever won the most weeks or something like that. That way we're both motivated to like try and make money investing in players, but also try and like win weeks,
Absolutely. All right, guys. So keeping the spirit of our baseball round going, I am the caboose here, right? I'm the last one to talk about each round. We're going to grab our big investment here in baseball. If you've been paying attention, you know this is my guy anyway, but I'm not just doing a homer pick here. I know it looks like that when I start with Steph and Trey Turner. But Trey Turner,
it's a little homer. Like you would never pick a Dallas Cowboy, even if you thought they were going to go up and down.
Exactly. The stars align to where these are the homer picks that I think are also smart buys right now.
Yeah.
There's plenty of homer guys I could pick. These are the ones I picked for a reason, and here's
Right.
why. Steph, I already said that. I think that stands alone. Team on the brink of elimination. They need to win. He's the guy to do it for him. Trey Turner, kind of a different story. So if we look at like the year chart on Trey Turner, big popular guy to have last year. He even started the year out really popular here, as after this offseason ended. The WBC, he came in hot, hitting those home runs in the WBC. He was about the biggest name in baseball, at the time. With Tatis being, he's just one of the big guys. He's one of the premier guys that you're excited to talk about. Not like a Tatis that you were like, oh man, we kind of Tatis. That's negative situation.
I don't feel that way about Tatis at all. Casey.
That's okay. It's a different thing. There's a reason why. We'll talk about that later. But Turner, he's at this higher price too, but he could be much higher. He's actually at a pretty low point. He's been, I would say, underperforming. That's not easy to say as a guy that I like. He's had he gets a little bit going. People get excited. They're like, let's get in. The stock goes
Yeah.
up. We're down at a down point. And this is, again, about as low as you're going to get this guy. And I think he hasn't even approached his ceiling as far as this year goes. So when we see this excitement, if we would have taken this trajectory and let it forward, and he actually would have been over producing or producing on the level I think he should be, this graph would have continued to go up. We haven't done that. I think it just is a matter of time before he clicks in and is the player we expect him to be, or I expect him to be. He's a real team leader for the Phillies. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be getting Bryce Harper back at some point. So that's going to kind of elevate everybody in the lineup, give some more RBI and run opportunities. So stats are going to start to pour in. It's not all homerism. There's a reason, a method behind the madness. I think Trey Turner is a solid pick, even though he's a pretty big price tag, I'll admit.
Let the man cook, give him a second. Give him a second to simmer.
Let him turn.
I think it's a solid pick. Also, the Phillies are 11 and 12 right now, so they're not like they've got room to grow. Yeah,
they're going to win.
They haven't hit their
games.
Stride yet.
They're not going to finish the season below 500.
I will say this, Adam, a little upset that you're cheating on Bregman. Just hold, Adam. There's still more rounds of this.
I might have him.
There's levels here, bro. Michael, though, Turner's better than Bregman. Yeah, Turner's a higher price than Bregman. Like, what's Bregman priced at?
Actually, it was really similar.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is an interesting. So a couple little quirks or wrinkles of prediction strike that we're realizing. One, these guys seem to like barely move in the off season. I think because no fantasy is happening, so it's all based on their like marketplace value. So like Turner, he's a guy who like you'd expect from his WBC performance, like like before the season even started, his price should have been going up, but because they don't move very much in the off season, it wasn't. So that like initial pop, like that was going to happen just from his WBC stuff. You know what I'm saying?
He had this like we do know that they can move in the off season. It's not like they're locked. And he did get a little bump, and that was probably that week or that couple days right before the season started, kind of thing. Like it started to happen.
Right.
So, yeah. You can sense that there was a magnetism northward, as you might say.
The other little wrinkle that is interesting is like, why are Turner and Bregman priced the same? Or here's a really weird one in basketball. Steph is priced at around $16. Tyrese Halliburton is priced at about $38. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is priced at $10.85. So it's like there's not a lot of like good comparison to each other. A lot of it does have to do with how they perform against their fantasy projection and stuff. So you got to figure out the app a little bit and figure out like what will make it, what will make you money.
For sure. And you guys know that if we do end up working with these guys, we're going to get you a code. We're going to try to leverage what we can and get you guys a nice deal. Hopefully they're into it. And like we said, hopefully we can do something fun together on this.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
John, you're up.
NFL. Okay, you went back to mine, and I'm still on Tatis. Okay, I'm going to talk about both my NFL guys kind of in one little shot here. Both Niners guys. So our NFL show once again becomes the Niners show, and I doubt it's going any other way. When Casey comes up to that. But so
what do you mean? You started off with a Raider.
Technically, yes. Technically, it is not the Niners show. He's still in his Niners jersey in his picture.
We like that.
Nice and clean. Basically, my thought process on these two guys. So Brock Purdy is just incredibly priced, in my opinion. So, like just for reference, like a lot of quarterbacks are priced $15, $20, even $25. Brock Purdy currently priced at $1.42. Like I just think that's an incredible price for him. If you see kind of you got to go all the way to the year chart for him. So there's his IPO, obviously in the offseason. Shot up to $3. So at $1.42, I feel like he's just a good investment. And here's the other thing. It's not just like, Brock Purdy. I'm not just like riding this Brock Purdy train. It is the eyeball test too. Like watching this guy, you can see like, no, he's good. He is a good quarterback. I think, Sam Darnold can get a shot at taking the job from him, but I don't think anybody can take that job from him. I think he's really, really good as a quarterback. I think he's going to be, again, another guy like Ohtani, where it's like I could get in at this $1.42 on this guy, and he might go up to $25 over the next few years. You know what I mean?
Funny, John, you aren't even mentioning Trey Lance. You're predicting something like might not.
I think it's Brock's job. You know what I mean? It seems like it's Brock's job, right? Old big socks Brock. It seems like it's his job. And Trey Lance seems like just a really good asset for them, honestly, to maybe acquire something else. Pirtle is local Boston boy, Adam says. Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's a great grab there. And then my other guy is Jimmy G. Basically, thought process on Jimmy G, very similar. Let's see, Jimmy G. Oh, there's a Jimmy Graham who comes up before him because alphabet. No, what? Wait, that doesn't work. Why does Jimmy Graham come up before him? Probably sorted by price. Anyway, Jimmy G price similarly at $1.41. The Raiders are flush with weapons, honestly. You got Josh Jacobs, who can catch passes out of the backfield and then can break them off, right? You got Devontae Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow. Like, they are flush with weapons. They are just set for a quarterback to come in like Jimmy G, who's like, I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to put the ball where it's supposed to be. As long as their scheme is okay, as long as their scheme doesn't suck, Jimmy G will thrive there. Like, he's already shown, I thrive with weapons. I can win with weapons. So, I mean, another guy who I don't see him going to 25. I don't see him being a Brock Purdy, but we know what he is. He's an Alex Smith. He's an Alex Smith 2.0. Give him weapons like Alex Smith had in Kansas City. And I think, we might see a Pro Bowl season out of him.
Hey, I like to hear it, John. Matt, anything on Jimmy G? You Jimmy G fan? How handsome is Jimmy G? Scale of 1 to 10. Matt,
he is quite good looking.
He's got a good chin line.
Scale of 1 to 10. Is he
his
a 10?
jawline?
I would say he's like an 8.5.
All right, a scale of 1 to 10. How uncomfortable did that question make you?
10.
0.
Oh, weird. I'm like, flip those answers for me, baby. He's a 10 and I'm only an 8 on that scale. So.
Am
I'm
I
only, like
next?
moderately uncomfortable.
Jimmy G is probably the best looking quarterback in the NFL. Probably, maybe like
since Tom retired.
I don't know. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. No, who I was going to say is Chargers.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah. If it's a certain style, Jimmy G is much more like kind of like dark and it just depends what you're into. A lot of dudes on this podcast.
Not to mention, you guys are only mentioning the white quarterbacks. I mean, there's some good black quarterbacks out there.
He
Justin
said
Fields, handsome dude.
He said Trevor Lawrence. He's not white.
Also a white guy. About as white as it gets.
He's not white. Okay. Or no, did you say Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
No, I got it mixed up with the person he picked for the NFL.
Matt was talking Trevor Lawrence before. I see. It's you're forgiven. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence, we don't know what his soul looks like. He could be chocolate on the inside.
Could be chocolate. He might identify as something else. Yeah.
All right, so Matt, you're up next. Who do you?
Okay, just for clarity, there was no collusion, but I also picked Purdy. I thought at that price, I was like, because this is what I did. I actually
that's crazy. We did not
No, I had a limited budget for football, and I was just scrolling through, and I'm like, okay, this is a no-brainer at $1.42. Let me pick up a couple shares. I mean, obviously, depending on how he recovers from his surgery, he comes back from that, but he could be contending for MVP. So at this price, he could be at $25, $30.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I mean, hey,
guys, Matt might love Brock Purdy more than I do. I would not say
that's not possible. That's not possible. Casey would have babies with Brock Purdy, even if he had to birth them.
I don't think that works genetically speaking, but he's an attractive guy too. We left him out of it.
You guys could adopt a child together.
How do you think Brock Purdy felt when everybody's talking about how handsome Jimmy is? He's
like,
Purdy's like, hey man,
I'm big socks Brock. Okay.
Yeah. Got a big old
big socks. Big old socks.
Yeah. Well, John and I we're thinking the same thing.
Same wavelength. Let's see. Do we got a triple here?
Triple cross.
We got a three-fer?
We do.
Hey,
I find it weird that I am the last one who will talk about Brock Purdy, but I do have a little. Yeah, I do have a tag along guy, and that does work out well that way too. Yeah. So Brock Purdy here. I mean, I'll just leave it here. Brock Purdy. Yeah. What is there to say? John didn't want to go there, but there's a good chance Trey Lance isn't on the roster, especially with the draft being this week. I think that particularly provides some mobility opportunity this week for Brock Purdy to shoot up. If Trey Lance goes and it's just Purdy and Sam Darnold left in that QB room, Brock Purdy's starting gig is all but sewn up. It's just a matter of when is he ready for the season. I personally don't think Sam Darnold can do much to take the starting job away from Purdy if Purdy is healthy. I
Right.
think that Lance could potentially, if he was on the roster and he gets to start week 1 and all of training camp, all of preseason, he gets all those snaps. He's still a young, super young prospect. I think he's younger than Purdy, actually. If he comes in and he lights the world on fire for 4 straight weeks in the NFL, he could actually supplant Purdy. So Trey Lance provides the real danger to Purdy's value here, not Darnold. The fact that they went out and got Darnold, I think actually increases Purdy's likelihood of returning value because now it allows the Niners to at least take those phone calls about potential superstar Trey Lance, and they can let some other team risk that. And the draft is the time that that's likely to happen if it were to happen. So keep your eyes out. I'm not saying I want him off the team, but I'm saying if he is to be off the team, it's probably going to happen this week.
Who do you think would be looking for Trey Lance? To me, Indianapolis comes to mind. They're not going to get one of those first 2 quarterbacks. If assuming the Texans and Panthers both take a quarterback, they're not going to get one of those top 2 quarterbacks. Maybe they'd target Trey Lance. What do you think?
So there's a couple thoughts I've had on this. I think that potentially something like the Bucks, with Brady kind of turned over, even if Brady came back, even if there was a potential comeback, Trey Lance is the kind of guy where you're like, well, we have him waiting in the wings anyway. It's not the idea that he comes in, he takes over right away and he's ready to light the league on fire. More people are adapting that view on Lance, honestly, that he is a high potential prospect. I would put the Vikings, honestly, in that category too, as they talk about maybe not committing to Kirk Cousins again. There's weirdly been, I'm not actually pushing that narrative, but that's what I see out there. A lot of people are like, Shanahan can finally trade somebody like straight across for Cousins. And I think that'd be an interesting looking trade because taking all the salary of Cousins, but you're giving up the upside.
Does Shanahan want Cousins?
They've had a relationship since
they got a little thing, huh?
There was Shanahan who was up on Cousins and drafted Cousins like years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think Brady comes back, Casey?
Honestly,
what else has he got going on in his life at this point? Like he's not doing anything.
I'd put the odds at about 50-50. I actually don't think it would be with the Bucks. All signs point to it's likely it would be with another team. I've heard of rumors of a potential Patriots return, but even more likely probably like a Dolphins. That's where he lives. He lives like right around that area. Yeah. That's who got dinged with the tampering, slapped on the wrist for tampering. They tampered with Brady already. So that already happened. If you're going to pay the price, you might as well get the guy. So I think that could happen. Real quick before we get out of here, or before
we got a couple rounds.
Before we move on to the next round.
Peoples-Jones
is another. So apparently this part doesn't show the price of these guys. So Purdy is a nice cheap asset.
Oh, just heads up, just for a second. I grabbed 3 shares of Purdy. How many did you grab, Matt and Casey?
I grabbed 2. Let me check.
Everyone else we've covered so far, I only grabbed 1 share of, but
I've grabbed one of everybody I've shared so far. I'll keep talking on Peoples-Jones. So you can see Brock Purdy. We've all talked about him as that cheap investment. Peoples-Jones is beyond that. He's less than half the price. Peoples-Jones, Cleveland Browns. Who plays for the Cleveland Browns? Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
He's the guy nobody wanted to talk about last year. He's in hot water. He did not play good. Does anybody really doubt the talent of Deshaun Watson? I know I don't, given a whole offseason without all the crazy stuff going on and with him actually settling into the team. I mean, anybody who's attached to him as a receiver is high potential, and Peoples-Jones is a high-flying, like, deep threat guy. This guy could really go off. It's probably not going to happen right now, but if they fail to like draft a receiver, then maybe his value bumps up here. So for 61 cents, I'll take the roll of the dice, especially since he's probably not going to go downwards, even if they do draft somebody. So.
It's a flyer. I was looking for this, like who's a high potential receiver that's about to get paired up with a quarterback that they haven't had yet. And I didn't even think Browns at all, right? Like I thought, who's drafting a quarterback? Yeah, it's hard to remember the Browns are a football team.
I don't even anticipate team success there. Most of the time, quarterbacks throw for a lot of yardage on teams that aren't winning a lot of games. So this is.
I mean, look at Jameis Winston when he won the passing yards.
Yeah. All right, John, you're up, and we're kind of into the flex round, right? We can talk about whatever we have left.
Kind of going wild card with it. Hold on, I'll grab my guy here. All right, so I'm ready to go. If you want to. All right, so my next guy is another sort of day trade. I'm looking for this guy to pop. I think he's about to lose his series, so I am not going to hold him. If he pops, I am going to sell him if he gives me 10% or whatever. But the main thing here is Norm Powell. I don't even need to look at the charts. All I need to look at is what is his projection. 22 points, 2.39 assists, 3.76 rebounds. I think he can beat that without Kawhi Leonard or Paul George playing. Last game, Russ Westbrook went off for 37 points. I don't think that's a normal thing. I think normally Russ isn't going to have that many points, and then that scoring load falls to Norm Powell for the Clippers. So even if the Clippers lose, I'm looking at Norm to do a little bit more than his projection, pop off a little bit, make me a little bit of money. And if the Clippers win, maybe I hold him for one more game. If Kawhi and Paul George are still sitting out. But yeah, basically I'm just looking to flip this guy, as soon as he gives me maybe 10% on my investment. So Norm Powell, quick trade, day trade, in and out.
I like it.
Nice. I like it.
Like on an established guy, not looking at like you're totally opposite of like Peoples Jones and Brock Purdy, who we're just talking about.
Yeah. He's really the third best scorer on the Clippers.
You know what's crazy is
if
Brock
Russ
Purdy
isn't on.
is
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's cheaper than him.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah. It is really goofy on the app.
But it's about mobility. So it's
Yeah.
about where they are and where they'll go
Right.
from there. If you disagree that they're not where they should be valued right now, that doesn't mean they're going to move the way that you think they're going to move.
Right. All right. So that's mine. Quick one. What else? Who's up? Matt?
I'm up.
Matt is up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Matt.
Well, I got my baseball portfolio, so I gotta see who I
You
have
got to run
here.
through your baseball picks here.
Yeah. That's not
this is you here.
Yeah,
Sorry
that
about
is
that.
Matt.
Yeah.
Or that is Casey.
All right. I got. Let's see. Keep going. Da-da. Yeah. Let's go, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the judge himself.
Yeah.
The judge and the jury. I don't know what's Aaron Judge's nickname.
Let's see his chart, his like 3-month chart here. I just want to. Yeah.
He's in a big dip.
Whew. I mean, here's a huge opportunity to take advantage of the home run champ from last year. I mean, how do you not take this? Yeah. I mean, he could do it again, right? Like, I mean, this is just a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
On the Yankees, they're going to be rocking and rolling. So I think this is a huge opportunity
One of the lowest prices he's ever been, really.
Yeah.
At least in the 1 year chart. Yeah.
I mean, it's only a couple weeks into the season too. So like, this is the time to get in on a big name player like an Ohtani. I mean, he's like, he's just a solid pick. He's the captain of the Yankees. How can you go wrong with him? So, I mean, that was an easy choice for me at $12.15.
The judge.
The more you zoom in, the more his chart just trends downward. So that's a sign of buy low for sure.
I mean, the only thing
why when there's blood in the streets, baby.
Yeah, the only thing that, like, knock on wood, this won't happen because for his sanity and everyone else's, like an injury, right? That would drop his stock even more. But other than that, like, there's no way he's not going up. Like, this is a for sure slam dunk for sure.
Yeah.
So that was easy.
I like it. I wouldn't bet against Aaron Judge. Solid player, one of the best for sure in the game right now. And I think I agree with that. A lot of dough to spend there. I would rather spend my money on this guy. Okay, mine doesn't work from there. It's cool. Learning things about the app as I go. I have baseball players as well from here on out, actually. But I'm just going to talk about one right now because this is the only guy I actually double dipped on. The only person I bought multiple shares of. And that would be Goldie, Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah.
Do you
so
have
similar.
him on your fantasy? Do you have him on your fantasy?
I do have Goldie on my fantasy team.
Oh,
okay. So similar to Judge. I mean, Goldie is a perennial guy who's going to put up numbers. I would say even probably more consistently than Judge, just because of the nature of like power hitting. And Goldie's a little bit more of a well-rounded producer at the plate, let's say. He's also at like the lowest point within the last year. And same thing, he's kind of started off the season. I mean, the more we zoom in, the more downhill it gets. So same principle applies here. I got in a little cheaper, but by the time I was kind of wrapping up my $50 budget, I decided I was going to double down on Goldie. So I guess I could have revisited and looked at a Judge, but given he's at 751, I think he has more room to go upward than a guy who's already up fairly high, like a Judge with a steep price. So I like him. You can see he's already kind of flatlining this curve, turning that thing around. I think we're going to see him rise to similar to where he was last year. So if he jumps up above $20 into that $21, $22 range like he did last year, sure, it's not going to happen just this week, but I think that initial turn is going to happen.
Yep.
I will bet on that because he did the same kind of thing last year early on. I'm going to bet on that and say that he's the one I wanted to double down on, and I would like to see a good return from Goldie in week 1. I believe he can do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
solid. I
you
mean, the
think he'll
Cardinals too are off to a little bit of a slow start. So once
you
they
think
start
he's like
getting rolling,
you think he's like one of your guys that could like maybe help you win a week right away?
So this is what I've realized about this app, about this kind of thing, about day trading players like this or potentially day trading them, is that there's going to be a sunk cost fallacy, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
Because Goldschmidt, I believe, looking at this chart, I believe he's going to at least go up this season,
Right.
right? I think potentially way, way up. I think he's going to go up soon too. But if he didn't turn this week and we ran this back again another week from
You
now,
just hold him. Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
use
for
him
sure.
again because I would still believe in that turnaround is coming.
Yeah.
Just if it didn't happen in 1 week, it's even more likely to
He-
happen another week. So I
right.
will go down a sunk cost fallacy. kind of road.
He might help you win 2 or 3, 4 weeks in a row at some point.
I think that's possible too. As soon as that turn
Definitely.
does happen, it doesn't mean it's going away. I don't think I would sell quick on him. I think I'm longer on Goldie for sure. He could be week after week after week. And I have a couple shares so I can play too. I can play around
Yeah.
a little bit. So it's nice.
Yeah. So I love it. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there a price you'd look to sell him at? Like if you're like, okay, if he gets to 15, I'm out, or 10.
Yeah,
12?
I'd say that's actually a pretty good indicator because where his kind of low end range when he kind of hit where he stabilized last year is around that $15 mark. So when he approaches there, I mean, I would definitely, if I still am holding 2, I'd probably sell 1 there and just be like, okay, now I'm in the black on him almost no matter what I do, so
Yeah.
I will already have paid for both if I sold him at 15.
Is there a price you'd stop loss on him? Like
It's scary, but without any
Or would
kind
you
of
just
like
ride or
massive,
die?
like any barring any like season-ending injury or like he's all of a sudden in a platoon or something like that, which I think he's totally safeguarded from the platoon thing at least.
yeah.
As long as he's not seeing fewer at bats or not losing time or something, I would be all in. So yeah, I'm kind of planting a flag here for sure.
Yeah. You'd ride him all the way to 0. Not that he would go there, but
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd do the like anger sell at like 1 cent, like screw this guy, and then inevitably he'll hit like 5.
they can't take all my money.
Yeah,
All right. Cool. Who's up? Am I up?
Yeah,
you
you're
are
up.
up, my friend.
Okay. Hit me with my screen.
Gotcha, bro.
Last talking point. So this is cool. Have not seen this yet. This is a player who's playing now. Current
Ooh.
price is 10.14.
yeah.
Projected game in price 10.39, which did inspire me to check in on the Celtics Hawks game, and it was 63-52 at least a minute ago in the second quarter. Celtics are up, looking to close it out. So this is a swing trade for me, meaning I'm looking to hold this probably either till the end of the season or for the next few weeks. Basically, where I'm at with Jaylen Brown is, it's Jaylen Brown if you're listening to this on audio. I don't know if we're going to release it on audio. But like if you look at him over 3 months, he's kind of been steady between sort of $11 and $13 over the course of this season. $11, $13. He did make a big jump all the way throughout this season once everyone realized like, oh, this guy's an elite guard, right? But since people realized that toward the beginning of the season, he's been swinging between $11 and $15. So to me, if I'm ever looking at a guy like that and he's dipped below $11, he's down here by $10, it's like scoop him up. And I think the Celtics will probably make a deep playoff run. I have them going all the way to the finals. I have them winning it. So this
You have
is
the Celtics winning it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So both him and Tatum are actually low right now, but our rule for this game was that we only had $50 of budget. So I could not afford both Brown and Tatum if I wanted to buy my Bucks committee, and I did want to buy my Bucks committee. So I went with Brown here. I think he's just priced low right now. And the reason he's priced low, even though he's been playing well, is because of his projections. His projections are not easy to hit. He has to score 26.7 points, 3.5 assists, 6.8 rebounds, turn the ball over less than 2.5 times. Like,
that's a solid. If he hits that, that's a solid game.
A lot is expected of Jaylen Brown, but if I believe in the Celtics, if I believe them to make a deep run, it's going to be every team that wins is their superstars step up, and I think that so that's kind of what I think will happen. If they make a deep run, his value will increase over the next little bit. I would probably look to sell him. I'd be looking to sell probably around $13, $14, maybe $15, right? If I can make 30, 40, 50% off him, which I think I can. I think he can bump up back to that $13 point, and that's probably where I'd maybe look to sell. I would probably stop loss him at maybe $5 or $6, but I can't see him dipping that low. Or I'd stop loss him if the Celtics, I think, are about to get eliminated. Then I might just, be like, all right, I'm out on Jaylen Brown. I don't think it's going to happen, and just get out. So yeah, that would be stop loss, meaning I'm losing money. I'm just going to stop the bleeding and get
Stop
out.
the loss.
Yep, stop the
like
loss. So yeah, that is my last investment of the day. Matt, you're up.
Solid. All right. I'm gonna go with another baseball since I got my baseball portfolio.
Yep.
I don't remember who I know. Actually, I know one is.
If
Juan
only you
Soto.
had like a personal device that you could be looking at in the
I know.
meantime while we're going through
Right.
these things.
Oh yes, that would be good.
Yeah.
That was like
that-
specifically for
I
your
like the surprise though.
Maybe
I like,
like a
"Ooh, who did I get?"
mobile, like a device that's mobile.
yeah, it'd just be
right?
handy to
I-
like keep on you, you know,
Something
something
that
that's
had-
like,
I like the surprise though.
Something that had apps on it. I don't know. You know.
yeah, I don't know.
Somebody
Maybe
should
they'll
invent
invent something like
let's
that one
see,
day.
Yeah.
Soto.
I think this is it. Who's
and-
left?
That's it. Well, we got to go Soto. Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is
This
shoot
is the
your
last.
wad, bro.
This is the last round.
Oh, I
so
know.
You got
This
to talk.
is Soto. Yeah.
You got to talk Tatis and Soto.
and entities, yeah.
Oh, I got to go. Okay. Well,
but
Tatis we
Padres
already touched
bros.
on.
Yeah,
we already
Tatis.
touched on
Same
Tatis.
reasons. Yeah.
Same reasons. He's coming back. I think. Yeah, he's gonna have a. He could be in that possibly MVP candidate mode. I think he's got a lot to prove. So yeah, we already touched on him, but yeah,
Super low
I mean the
point.
duo of them together, oof. And Soto, like, look, he came over from the Nationals. He's so happy to be in San Diego right now. I think, can we go out to his 3-month view? Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, he's just undervalued at 340, 349. How could you not pick him up? He could hit 45, 55 home runs this year.
Everyone on Triple Cross is dip buyers. We all like
Yeah.
buying the dip. We're not like, hey, I'm gonna buy Halliburton at $38, like because I think he's gonna keep going up. We're like, who's dipping?
I mean, look,
yeah.
I would hold on to him if I were to like have a price to sell at definitely no less than $10 for sure.
Oh, you think he's gonna be a 300%?
You're going all-time high
Oh,
with
yeah.
him then.
Oh yeah,
You
for sure.
you will not sell him unless he hits an
No.
all-time high.
Oh, you
No.
think this is the best? Okay, all right.
I think this is
Right.
like I think this is the bottom that he's not going to go.
Would you
ever
stop
be
loss
down
on him anywhere?
at that price? No.
You just ride him out.
I mean, it's just like it's not a high. Yeah. I mean, he's 24 years old, like 23, 24.
Oh yeah, he's
So,
got a
like,
lot of years.
long
You
term-
could go
yeah,
super
he's-
long on him. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no, and also I don't know. That team is just too good he's too important to that team to go down in value.
I think it's a
that much,
similar
so.
point to when I brought up Trey Turner on the Phillies. Like they're going
Yeah.
to play better ball for the rest of the year on average than they've started the season.
sure.
out. Like,
Yeah.
and not for nothing. Like I said, with Bryce Harper coming back in for the Phillies, I mean, it's not just like 1-for-1. When you get a guy like Tatis back in your lineup, you know, producing as much as he does
Yeah.
on offense, the tide raises
it's-
all boats. So Juan Soto is going
Definitely.
to have more opportunity for RBIs, run scored, things like that as that offense just flourishes. So I like the
Yep.
pick. I like
Cool.
it. All right. So I guess it's time for
Awesome.
me to wrap up my investments here.
At
Tell you-
cleanup, bro.
Yeah, my
Make
portfolio.
Make it amazing. Like make it just. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I got a little
Amaze me.
two-stack here. Both I was gonna say ball players, but I guess literally everybody we've talked about today is
Yes.
a ball player. But I always say I use ball player for
Baseball.
baseball players.
I do
I
too.
don't know why. That's just what it feels
I say
like.
Hooper, ball
Hooper.
player,
Yeah, I don't
Or
have a
Hmm.
I don't
word
have
for
a
football guy.
baller. Yeah.
Football.
Gamer. No, I don't. Yeah, it's
Matter.
Hooper, ball
Yeah.
player, and guy who plays football.
So I have two super low risk bets here on guys that are both rookies, right? Top prospects, both the kinds of guys I like. You know, I get excited about these kinds of guys. Kind of the more fast, twitchy middle infielder type of guys. I don't know. They both probably have some position versatility, but I know them as middle infielders.
Yeah.
Both below $1. Super excited to get in on these buys. 93 cents for Volpe. If you're paying attention at all to the Niner or to
To the
Freudian slip,
Niners.
to the Yankees fan base.
Freudian
they're-
slip.
Look, I'm just thinking about the Niners.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my
Casey
God.
has very. Yeah. Casey has.
You know what he's thinking about
interesting
all the
feelings about the
time.
Niners.
I am not the
Yeah.
Yankees fan, man. I am the
Yeah.
Niners fan, man. But I do follow some creators who like the Yankees quite a bit, and they can sometimes signal to me like who that fan base is excited about.
Right.
And this platform is not just about production. I think he's as good a candidate to produce as anybody. But I think based off the hype, even he's bound to go
Yeah.
up. And at
I mean,
under $1, like I'm super in on Volpe here. I think there's no way, there's not like this like big historical chart really compared to everybody else to go off of. But I mean, you can see again, you can read the hype within what we see here. The IPO is over here at $1. I mean, doesn't go up to past $2 or anything, but you can just see the general trend. People were excited about him, and again, kind of underperforming, leveling off. I think that means he's primed to come back up and be a big deal because he's going to turn things around and really come into his own. Not really turn things around. You can't expect people to come out firing into the majors and just produce immediately. I'd use basically the same argument for Bryce Terang. You know, he's a rookie. He's super early on, and he is a buy low candidate right now. You can see he's all-time low, and he is rounding that edge off and hopefully about to trend back up. Fan of both those teams somewhat. He's a versatile guy. He can play multiple positions, so he's likely to stay on the field and get his at-bats. I think that's what he needs, some experience, and he's bound to turn things around, heat up, and make me tons and tons of money. This is not financial advice. So.
Right. This is not financial advice. It's the
But
one
win
thing
lots of money with me.
But yeah,
Bryce
we're
Terang.
gonna make some money.
Ugh.
All right. So the rules of the game are every week, whoever of the three of us has the best ROI wins the week. This is a kind of a loose rule. Like we were hoping to collab with Prediction Strike on this. So we don't know. You know, we would have to maybe reshoot episode 1 or what. But like this is kind of a trial. It's a pilot. It's literally a pilot. That's what it's intended for. So yeah, those are the rules of the game. And then every 12 weeks, we'll do like, you know, some big prize to whoever has won the most weeks. That kind of gives us a nice motivation to both go long on players that we just think we're going to hold for a while and try and make some quick wins in our trades. Personally, I think that maybe like, I think I would either win or lose the week. You know what I mean? Like because I'm so heavy in basketball, like that's who you can really win or lose the week on this week. Whereas a lot of our baseball picks are like, yeah, we're just generally long on these guys, you know?
Yeah.
And same with football. Like they're not really going to even move much. Who knows? I wonder how much the what's the word I'm looking for? Draft. I wonder how much the word I'm looking for, which is draft, will affect our decisions or people's decisions on Prediction Strike. Yes, Casey is in it for the money. Of all of us here on Triple Cross, Casey likes money most.
Ooh,
that's not true. I wonder if everyone here knows who does like money most, though.
I don't know.
I mean, we all like money. Everybody likes money.
I hate it. I despise money. Currency of any kind, really. Like if you give me like points and like karma and stuff, I'm like, I'm out on all of that stuff. Like I just keep my currencies low, like less stuff to freak out about. I like that quite a bit. So
yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Casey likes, you know, just low expectations in his life.
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't know how we close this one out, but stick around. We are actually going to do a baseball episode, full baseball episode, you know, going out to the text group, everything in a minute here. We'll do a little playback and some giveaway spins as per usual on the baseball episode. So stand by for that. As we get that, we got to end this stream, get that prepped, go live on that stream. But yeah, let us know in the comments if we close this down, if you're watching this afterward or whatever, let us know in the comments, say, hey, Prediction Strike, you got to pick this pilot up. This was super fun. I would get in on it. Tell them you would get in on Prediction Strike so they know, oh, hey, these guys are actually going to bring us new users. I thought it was a really cool app. Like I found it and I was like, hey guys, there's nobody doing any shows around this. We should do something. So let us know in the comments. Obviously, I already asked in the chat. Let us know in the chat. And yeah, stand by.
Go hit them up on Twitter.
Twitter or Insta. They're big on Insta too.
Yeah. Hit them up on Twitter or Insta. I have the Twitter up, so I'm gonna like just share that really quick.
Yeah, and link our show. Yeah, link our show to them. Be like, you guys should pick this up.
Yeah. Check them out on Twitter here. You can find them at Predict Strike. Yeah. Hit them up, let them know, hey, those Triple Cross guys are trying to make you guys money and grow your fan base a ton and do some fun stuff with you guys. So
yes,
tell them to go check us out, point them towards this video. We appreciate it. And guys, thank you for joining us here on this pilot episode of Triple Strike. Ooh!
That was my best umpire.
See you on our baseball show. Goodbye.